Hi everybody, welcome back to Living Traditions Homestead. Well, I am really excited to bring you this video today because it's going to be super fun. We're going to be in the kitchen. We're going to make a couple of really sweet treats that are still okay for our keto diet. Now, this is a little bit different because generally all of the sweet treat kinds of recipes and videos that we do, Kevin's in the kitchen. But today I'm in the kitchen and we're going to have fun making some sweet treats. Now, over the past couple of kitchen videos that I've done ketogenic or keto recipes, and you guys have been loving them. So I decided I would make another kitchen video with two separate keto recipes for sweet treats. For Valentine's Day, Grace and I kind of collaborated to make some sweet treats for Kevin and for her fiance. And today I'm going to share with you both of those recipes that we made. When you're following a ketogenic diet or a keto diet, sometimes you really feel like you're missing out on the sweets. Because with keto, you're not eating any sugar, you're not eating any carbohydrates, so most of the cookies and those baked goods that you have loved, they're just out of the question. Candy, out of the question. Brownies, out of the question. But there are some really great recipes out there for sweet treats that are also friendly for a keto diet. Now, if you're not on a keto diet, you are still gonna love these recipes, I guarantee. So make sure you stick around even if you're not doing keto. But if you are, you guys are really going to enjoy these recipes. Now, the first recipe that we're gonna be making together are keto cafe mocha fat bombs, and the second recipe we are going to be making are brownie fat bombs. They're going to be filled with wonderful ingredients that will satiate your appetite and also satisfy your sweet tooth. So for those of you who are not familiar with what a ketogenic diet is or a keto diet, I'm just going to give you a really quick high-level rundown of what that means. The keto diet is a high protein, high fat, low carbohydrate, basically no sugar way of eating. And the purpose of it is to put your body into ketosis so that it burns fat rather than burning the sugars when you eat carbohydrates and other types of sugar. So what that means is we eat a lot of meat, healthy fats, full fat dairy, high fiber but low carbohydrate vegetables, and high fiber but low carbohydrate fruits. Eating this way has allowed us to lose weight and become more of a healthy weight for our size. This way of eating is also very anti-inflammatory, so it's good for people who are having a lot of arthritis or any other kind of illnesses or diseases that are as a result of inflammation. We are feeling so great eating this way, and we encourage you to learn more about it if it's piquing your interest. Now, both of these recipes come together very quickly and only use a few ingredients, so it's pretty fast, pretty easy. In this bowl, I have 8 ounces of softened cream cheese and a stick of softened unsalted butter. We're going to put both of these together into my mixer. You can use a hand mixer if you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, but basically we're just going to be combining these two things and kind of whipping them up a little bit. I'm going to scrape the bowl and then I'm going to mix them again just to make sure that both of those mix well together and I don't sometime get one mouthful full of butter. Next, we're just going to add all the rest of the ingredients in the bowl and mix it up. I'm going to start off with the coffee. Now, I am going to use espresso powder, not instant espresso powder, not instant coffee. You could use either one of those, but I did just freshly grind up some espresso and I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of the espresso powder. Now you can use 1 to 2 tablespoons of espresso powder, instant espresso powder, or instant coffee, any one of those things, but I'm gonna add that because I think it tastes so yummy. Okay, next on our list, you know, we haven't added any sweetener yet, and so the keto diet person's best friend is stevia and monk fruit. And I have some powdered monk fruit here that I'm gonna be using. Now, the rest of the ingredients that I'm gonna be using, I have gotten from Azure Standard. So I just wanna talk a quick second about that company and what it offers to me and to homesteaders and people who love to cook at home, love to be able to buy in bulk, and love good prices for organic and non-organic products. So Azure Standard is like a buying group. It's kind of like an online co-op where people in your area can order from this one company, and the company Azure gets all of your food together in one semi and they deliver it to a meeting point in your community. When they deliver, everybody shows up, they help unload this semi of everybody's things and puts them out, and people come and get their order and they take it home and enjoy it. I've been ordering from Azure Standard for probably 6 years, maybe almost 7 years, and I love it because many of the things that I use in the kitchen I can buy in bulk from Azure Standard that I can't buy anywhere else. So it's very convenient for me. My pickup location is about 30 minutes away, whereas if I need to go somewhere else to pick up bulk products, I need to drive at least an hour and a half away. Their prices on organic things, and like I said, non-organic things, are great, but especially when you buy things in bulk, they're an even better deal. So I just wanted to talk with you guys about it really quickly because over the years I've mentioned it here and there are always a lot of questions. I do still love their products. I'll continue ordering from them almost every month, and I'll continue talking about their products because they're great. Now right now they have offered me a 10% off discount code. That discount code is only good for a limited time, so make sure that you take a look at the description of this video to see how long of a time frame you have to order and get your discount. So enough talking, let's get back to cooking, finish this recipe up because it's so amazing. We need to finish with the rest of the ingredients and get this whipped up. So I was talking about sweeteners. I'm gonna be using a monk fruit sweetener today. It is monk fruit organic sweetener granular from Sweet Leaf. And this monk fruit is a 1-to-1 substitute for sugar. I am gonna be using a 1/4 cup of this monk fruit in our recipe for now. It's granular and looks and feels just like sugar. This is actually a real fruit that is super sweet and turned into this granular sugar. The next ingredient that we're gonna be adding are chocolate chips. Yes, you guys, real chocolate chips. They're dark chocolate chips from Lily's. They have no sugar added and they are sweetened with stevia. We are going to be using a heaping 1/4 cup of these dark chocolate chips. Put those in there just like that. The last ingredient that we're gonna be using in this recipe is organic cacao powder. You could also use standard cocoa powder. I got this from Azure also. You can buy it in bulk and I really like that. I just store it in jars, mason jars, until I'm ready to use it. Now with powdery things like this, I always sift it into the bowl because I don't want like big chunks of unsweetened cocoa powder or cacao powder in my recipe, but I'm using 1.5 tablespoons of this, and I'm just going to sift it into my bowl. I do the same thing with like baking powder and stuff when I'm doing my baking. There we go. And actually I decided to add a pinch of salt to this. So I'm just opening up my salt shaker and taking a pinch of salt. Now currently we are using Redmond real salt, and I got this from Azure also. This bucket is, I think it's 10 pounds. Yes, 10 pounds. I generally buy 10 pounds of salt at a time, and we are really liking the Redmond's real salt from Azure. Okay, that is all done. Now it's time for us to mix this all up. Now that is all mixed up, and I am gonna scrape all of this down into the middle so it kind of makes a ball, because we're going to chill this in the freezer a little bit, and then we're gonna make the fat bombs. See, I'm just kind of putting it in the middle just like that, so that it'll come together. So while we make the other recipe, the brownie recipe, I'm gonna stick this in the freezer to harden. It's not super soft, but it's like softer than cookie dough, and I want it a little bit more firm than that when we make our fat bombs. So this will make a reappearance, but right now it's going in the freezer. Now we're moving on to the keto brownie bites, and these are just as quick and easy as the cafe mocha bombs. Now, as I was cleaning up, I thought, you know what? Fat bombs just aren't the right way to describe what we are making, because they're just so wonderful that I think we'll call them truffles. Okay, I think what we're making, and in the end you'll see kind of what it will look like a truffle. They're just so good and decadent. We're gonna call them truffles. Okay, this brownie bite truffle recipe, I am starting with peanut butter, but you can also use sunflower seed butter or sunbutter, because it has less of a strong flavor, but I really like the taste of peanut butter in this recipe, so that's what I'm going to be using. Now I am using peanut butter from Azure Standard. I like to order it from there because I can get organic, I can get, you know, nothing added except for peanuts and maybe some salt. And I buy this in like a 5-pound tub. It's actually a tub that's about the size as this tub of salt. And then I break it up into smaller containers. I mix it. I break it up into smaller containers like these wide mouth jars or these BPA-free plastic containers, and then I store them in the refrigerator until I'm ready to use them. And I really like being able to buy them in bulk because you save quite a bit of money. So we're starting with 1/2 cup of peanut butter. This is really going to be our binder for our truffles. And because this is natural peanut butter, it is going to be on the softer side. So we are going to be refrigerating these truffles. You can put them in the freezer also if you want to. We're going to add 1/4 cup of the cocoa powder or the cacao powder that we used before. And I am going to sift that like before. Adding 1/4 cup of our monk fruit. And 3 tablespoons of coconut flour. I'm gonna add just a dash, a pinch of salt here, like in the last recipe. And we are gonna mix this up. We're gonna blend all of these dry ingredients that we added into the peanut butter. It takes a little bit. It's not as easy as with the, you know, the cream cheese and using the mixer. So we're just going to use our muscles and mix this into our peanut butter. To make these extra special, I am adding some walnuts, which we also get from Azure in bulk. I just chopped some of them up, and I'm going to use about 1/4 cup of them into this recipe. Maybe just under. I just took out a handful and chopped them up. Just sprinkle these on here. I am also going to add about 1/4 cup of these dark chocolate chips. Won't they make those brownie bites so yummy? And then we're just going to kind of stir and fold these in. Now this isn't really the easiest batter to work with, but I promise you that in the end it is worth it, and they are very, very yummy. Okay, the brownie bite truffles are ready to kind of package, I guess. Now it's time for us to turn them into the little cute truffle shape. This part was so fun when Grace and I were working together. We are going to use a tiny little ice cream scoop. This is a 1.5 inch, it's about a 1.5 inch ice cream scoop. We're gonna scoop up some of the truffle batter or dough, and we're gonna put it in these tiny little muffin papers. They're so cute. Then we're going to display them on a beautiful platter. This is my grandma's platter. They'll just look so pretty. So let's just go ahead and we can scoop some of this in here. I'm really gonna try to pack it in there so it makes a nice, almost perfect little circle of a truffle here. Look at how cute those are. The Brownie Bite truffles are all done on the platter. I put those in the freezer just to harden up a little bit, and I've got out our Cafe Mocha truffles, and we can start getting those into their little paper cups as well. We're gonna use the same scooper. I washed it out. Same technique with our little bitty papers. We're just gonna plop them in there so we can put them on our platter, and it will be beautiful and ready to serve. All of the truffles are finished. Look at how beautiful they are. I just love them so much. You guys really need to try these. I'm not gonna taste them. They're wonderful. I know how they taste. I want you guys to try them too. It's a short ingredient list, you guys. Super easy, pretty quick, and they will store. They make a lot of them. Look at this is all of the Brownie Bites that we made, but there are still probably 5 or 6 more that couldn't fit on this platter of these Cafe Mocha Bites. You guys, try these truffles. They're fantastic. Hey, remember that there's 10% off of your first order for Azure if you use the link in the description below. And remember, that is time-sensitive discount. And you guys, if you are enjoying our videos, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. And remember that the best way that you can help us here on the Homestead is just to share our videos on your social media. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our kitchen, our homestead. Take care. God bless.